I'm really happy to be here with Toby Daly. And today, surprise, Lauren is not here with us. Lauren is in the clinic working, and I will be our moderator. My name is Sandra Grassa, and Lorianne Sloan White is here on the background as well to help you out. And it's a pleasure to connect and to be here with you live. For now, this is how we can connect, and it's a pleasure to be here with you. And it's great to have Toby back with us here on Healthy Seminars. So today is a very special day. For those who are here watching this live with us, thank you so much for being here. We do encourage you to have your cameras on. And as I said, this will be a little bit more interactive today because Toby will present a case study and you will be able to also ask questions, but also answer some of the questions that Toby will have for you as well. So I'm really excited to be here and to learn from Toby, because I still remember the first time he was with us and it was really amazing. But today is really special because, as you probably noticed from the emails and also from the website, for those who were waiting, the IF Symposium, the Integrated Fertility Symposium, the early bird registration is now open. So we had a lot of emails over the last while asking us, when will it open? We want to, people missed it last year because of you know what? And here we are now. Finally, the registration is open. You can go and check it out. And I have it open here just to see it's amazing. You have up to 36 hours that you will be able to get on-demand CUs, and the registration, the early bird, is really generous. So I would really advise you to go and get it. And the amazing thing is that, yes, it will be online, and it's not, for me especially, it's not the same as getting all the preparations and going all the way to Vancouver and then meeting everyone there. But it's going to be great, like just with this scenario with the community unity immunity lectures that we do. We will have these sessions where we will be live. We will have panels as well for Q&A. We will have lectures that we will be replaying live so that you could all be together with us and watch it. And then also the panels to answer your questions. So I'm really excited to let you know that registration is now open. The early bird ends on April 25th. So for those watching this on the community library, just make sure that you do go and get the early bird. And yeah, go through the website. You can see, so we always show you the resources on the Healthy Seminars page. So if you go to healthyseminars.com, you will see the resources page, which is where we are now. And you will see that there's banners that will take you to them, to the IFS. And also, as Lauren said last week, for the usual people that join us here during the week, we really appreciate you being here with us. You could see that, as Lauren said, April is going to be pretty busy, and it's really cool that we're going to have on the weekend of 10th and the 11th of April, Toby's going to be with us for, I think it's a 14 CU live CU lecture for both days. And again, just have a read on the page itself for that lecture if you haven't signed up yet, just to make sure that you've done the requirements, which is Toby wants you to make sure that you're comfortable with it, and you've done the previous some of the previous training with Toby as well. So we'll talk about that a little bit more, but just have a look at that. A busy April coming up, and then in May you will have the IF Symposium as well. We have more lectures coming up. We have stuff next week again with Sean Goodman. We have Ross Rosen coming up as well, all part of these lectures on the Community Unity Immunity series. And also, for those who were here last week for that amazing lecture with Yvonne Farrell, you can sign up still for the mentorship. And this is what I really like about these close connections with the with lectures, where you can really learn from them. Just before I say a few words about Toby, I just want to say just a quick disclaimer that, especially for today, we will be talking about treatments, we'll be talking about points and things that you can do. Just for those watching this here with us, remember that this is for educational purposes only. It does not constitute medical advice, so everything that you will hear here today is for educational purposes. If you have any health condition that is mentioned during the webinar, please do seek medical advice. And I will just stop sharing now. and stop my blah, 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 because I want to learn from Toby. And for those who are here for the first time and haven't been with Toby before, I would really, really advise you to go and check his bio. It's really, really amazing, really, really impressive. Not only he studied in San Francisco, he's also been to China, and you just know that because I know that from learning from him as well, that he has that way of teaching that is so we recognize it. And he did his PhD in 2016 with the great Jeffrey Wen, and he's been over the last few years, he's been spending his time really, really teaching everyone and the experience with Saam Acupuncture. And I was really, really lucky to be here for the first lecture he did, and it was fascinating. And many of you were here also got that quick response from patients in the clinic as well. So it's great to have you back with us, Toby. Please, it's all you. Take it away.
Thanks so much, Sandro. And thanks to Lauren and Lorianne also for this opportunity to come and present today. And thank you everyone for your interest in this topic. Okay, so let's look at a case where the Saam acupuncture system was used to treat a patient with significant trauma. What we're looking at today is I'll present this case, and then I'll ask you how you might have addressed this case in your own clinic, based on the information I present. Then I'll come back and say, I'll let you know what I did. And then after that, we'll have a discussion, kind of an open discussion I'm hoping for. You can have questions and answers, anything about the case or just anything in general if you want to discuss, we'll have that open. And then if there's time at the end, I'd like to present another case. So we'll start off with a case, we'll have some discussion, and then we'll go to another case if there's time. Okay, again, thanks everyone for coming to check this out. All right, so sorry about this long title, but yes, so there was a car accident and we used Saam acupuncture for it. Okay, so let's start here. This is not our patient's car. This is the car that hit our patient. And if you can see where the police officers are standing by the trunk there, our patient was coming along in that lane, kind of like coming towards us. You can see the where the lane is kind of coming towards the camera here. So our patient was coming there, and she had a green light and was coming through the intersection. The car you're seeing is the car that hit our patient, and the car that hit our patient was going approximately 45 miles an hour, didn't stop at all for the red light. He was driving in the influence of several drugs, had suspended license and no insurance on his car. So this is what happened on his end. He was immediately taken to the hospital and then into custody. So let's look at see how our patient did when this interaction. So far, so good. This looks pretty good. So we didn't get to see this part. This is the car resting comfortably here. It looks not a scratch on it. So the car was hit and spun about a half a block. You can see down here, down the road, and spun 360 and then another half to end up here facing the wrong way. You can see pretty significant damage. Again, we'll just go through this quickly. But anyways, I want to let you know what our patient's coming with, and she showed me these pictures too when I went and saw her. Okay, so that was the night before the accident, and then I saw her first thing the next morning. Here's her general presentation. And again, I'm going to ask you guys your opinion on this. So if you want to take notes or just remember what I'm presenting here, try and do that, because in just a couple of slides, I'll ask you for your opinion on how you might address something like this. Okay, she's a 56-year-old female. Her pulse was thin, tight, and deep bilaterally. Her tongue was very pale, dusky, with a thin white coat. Her face was symmetrical, and she had really bright eyes. Her body, she had slight inner damp, meaning there's a little bit of flesh and fluid in the deeper parts of her body. Her skin itself, more on the surface, her skin was pretty normal. Abdomen, for the Saam system, we do some abdominal diagnosis. For this case, I didn't. Okay, and so here's her chief complaint, right? Obviously, it's the trauma. Status post this motor vehicle accident. Like I said before, the car was going approximately 45 miles an hour. And so it was a slam and then a spin. Immediately after, the patient was experiencing shaking and poor concentration. She was talking about how her concentration was so poor, she thought, oh, I better get something out of the car, and would go and get like a pen and then bring that out and then go, oh, I should go get the license. And so, she was really shaken from this. Mentally, she wasn't able to really focus on go get several things out of the car and then bring it off to the side. So she would just kind of wander, get one thing, and then come back. The next morning when I see her, so I just want to make sure I didn't miss something. Yeah. Next morning when I see her, she's presenting with intermittent stabbing pain along the right small intestine channel trajectory, especially through the scapula and the neck. She can really feel it stabbing. She has tinnitus, and she says her head feels so heavy and fluid filled. Continuing, so when I saw her this next morning after the accident, she had a hard time hearing out of her right ear. She felt like it was really stuffed, and she couldn't quite hear anything through it. Her whole body was tense and stiff. Even her movements, everything was just really rigid. She was complaining of dizziness. She consulted with her Western medicine doctor. Like I said, the other driver went immediately to the hospital. She felt like she was doing okay, and so she called her doctor the next day, and the doctor said, "There's no need to come in, with COVID-19 things. It's obvious from the symptoms you're describing is you have a concussion and you've got muscular micro tears from that, but there's no reason to come in and get that checked out." But that was over the phone diagnosis. It might have been a video visit, but anyways, that was a Western diagnosis. Okay, so Sandra, this is the part where I'm going to ask everyone how would they like to address this case. I understand this is really open, so I'm really interested in. I'm going to show you how the Saam tradition would use it, but especially I'm interested